part 2 review of the Aqua Marina Fusion 1010 by 30 in small waves. A lot of people were talking to me about the difference between the inflatable SUP and a hardboard. The guy behind me, I think, is on a Nash Nalu, which is a 1010, I think, by 32, so a tad wider. And we surfed a lot of waves together and had a really good chat. So many people were asking me about the differences in the surf with a inflatable SUP as opposed to a hardboard. I think the main difference, or the thing that struck me the most, was you're standing on a 6-inch sandwich of air, which means that you've got enormous flotation. So I could zoom along in parts of the wave on that inflatable board, whereas when I was on a hardboard, I'd probably be more in the braking part of the wave to make sure I was going to be carried by the momentum of the wave. What was great about this board was that even a slight push on the rail meant the board would start to turn. You'll see I start to move forward on the board just a couple of steps just to keep accelerating where the wave had almost died. In fact, I was surprised that I kept going. Normally on a hardboard I would have put some paddle strokes in by now just to make sure I maintain the momentum on a small wave as it starts to peter out. Indeed, the guy behind me, you'll see he's starting to lose momentum. The wave is almost died. I've kept going and I haven't put a paddle in the water, and that's because I could move forward just a couple of steps and just tip my weight forward on the rail, and the board turned enough that it could accelerate me through the wave as it was petering out, and then as it started to reform, I kept running on the wave. So it was an amazing feeling, because ordinarily I would be moving way forward on the board, walking right to the center, right to the 2/3 of the way up the board, and putting some extra paddle strokes in to maintain momentum. So as you hit a small sandbar or something like that, you'll be in the reform and then be able to ride the wave all the way through to the shore. And you'll see in this video and a couple of others that whilst I was filming, of course, I couldn't paddle, but it didn't seem to matter. You know, I could ride very small waves all the way to the shore, and that struck me as being a big difference between an inflatable over a hardboard.